Yeah.
Let me ask you a question though. I was thinking with this survey, right? With those, if this happens, how do you react? What, out of 1 to 5, what are you going to do? Are there ways to kind of cheat that test?
Well, we don't
And
ask questions like that up front. No,
oh,
this is a completely different approach. We're not asking them what they're good at. We're not asking them what they're bad at. We're asking them stuff that is not gameable. However,
mm,
you made a great point. If they're trying to game the whole thing and
it comes
and
out wonky,
provide
huh?
fake, oh, it does flags all over the place. Our
Ah,
software will have it flagged, and then at that point, we just move on to the people who aren't trying to game the whole thing.
I love this. This sounds like a dream hiring for any business owner or HR team that
Hmm.
is trying to build people and bring it in because they've got,
Yeah,
in reality, we've got way too much to do than to sit
right.
there and sift through resumes and talk to people that are, full of beans and, really
Hmm.
aren't in the right role. So why not take the cream of the crop and find those hidden A player gems
Yeah.
and bring them onto your team?
Hmm.
And wow, I love it. So it sounds like you're finding everyday people that would fit well in their role and develop to A players and not having to go out and go, "Oh, well, we're all competing for Susie
Right.
Q, and now I've got to be in a
Yeah.
bidding war to hire her at,
Yeah.
120% of what I could afford to pay her."
And in our model, the candidate throws out the first dollar amount, the cost per hour as to what they're looking for. Oh, yeah, we
Ah,
have this completely dialed. So, what we're avoiding at all costs is that exact situation where you said where there's a level of scarcity, there's not enough people to do the job, so it becomes a bidding war. We do not run into that situation at all because by design, our process doesn't work that way. We want the undiscovered talent. We're
mm,
looking for the needle in the stack of needles. And we're able to find these folks. So when we bring them to your business, they are appreciative, grateful, thankful, excited. They're not coming in saying, "Well, I did this down the road for this other guy, and we did it we did it this way." And you're not having to sit there and say, "Okay, we're going to try and take this dinosaur. We're going to try to train it to not be a dinosaur anymore. And then we're going to try to train it to do new things." Well, we don't deal with that. What we do is bring that smart person in right away. There aren't bad habits. They get cracking with your way of doing things. They learn very quickly and they just adopt that moving forward. They don't have those bad habits. They don't have the axe to grind, the we did it this way before. And any
anything
experienced
to stand
business
up and
owner,
prove on, right?
yeah, any experienced business owner will know that it is a colossal, almost bordering on ridiculous task to try and get people to unlearn things and do things a new way. It takes much, much longer than just starting with somebody who can kick butt on day one and get rolling.
Well, see, that's why I was like, the comparison of the real A player that thinks
Yeah.
they're an A player or have been an A player for a long time. Originally I asked how could small business owners ever get this? And now you've
Yeah.
just proven the point that we don't need those A players. We need to bring players that we can turn into A
Right.
players naturally in our own business.
Yep. Exactly. I mean, they just walk through the door with the potential to do exactly that. And I've lived this for several years now in our own business. I would say, for myself personally, it's hard to, you can't say this exactly, but maybe 90, 95% stress reduction on an average day. I
Oh my
just don't get
gosh.
wound up at work because my team does the work.
Mm.
Patients will ask me for answers in the exam room. I just defer. Oh, I'm not an expert in that. They look at me like, well, you know, I'm an expert on the medical side, but not on billing, not on scheduling, not on all those types of things. We have team members who are experts, and I tell them they'd be really upset if I try to do their job for them. I don't have
I
to
would mess it
because
up, right?
yeah, they're 10 times better at all that stuff than I am. And that's the type of mentality shift, the mindset shift from the owner where we don't do it that way anymore. I'm not trying to do all the jobs in the building. What I'm trying to do instead is provide the vision. So I'm I'm providing the map for the bus. The team members are on the bus. They're on the right in the right seats on the bus and they're driving the bus. So I provide that map, tell them to drive as fast as possible. And my role is to have a crystal clear map and put guardrails on the road. Those are my two roles. If I do that
Ah,
correctly with those team members, that bus will accomplish more than you ever possibly could do by yourself or with the standard way of hiring.
brilliant. Because what's the challenge that all small business owners have? They're wearing too many hats, trying to do
Yeah.
too many things, and they're fearful of hiring, right?
Right.
Because, oh, I can do it easier, faster, better, than the person I'm hiring. But if you go through this process and you hire quickly and accurately, you're
Yep.
going to find that hidden gem
Hmm.
and you're going to be able to do all that we decided we wanted when we got into this entrepreneurial is have the lifestyle and the freedom
Hmm.
and the creativity and vision that we wanted in our company
Yeah.
without having to drag everybody along. This is
If
fantastic.
if you look at virtually all small businesses that become very successful and become, medium sized or even larger enterprises, one of the top three things that the owner, the CEO does incredibly effectively is talent.
Mm,
They are talent magnets. You would be hard pressed to find a very successful company where that's not the case because the team is the one they're the people that grow the business like crazy. They become, especially with A players, you don't tell them how to do something. Oh my goodness, no. Give them a goal. They're going to come up with a way you couldn't think of in 100 years to accomplish this. They'll do it incredibly quickly. Your head's going to spin. That's what I'm used to now. Is having
that's
team
the
members
that's
where I
the new
sit back and
standard,
think,
right?
yeah, I sit back and think, oh my goodness, thank God I got out of the way of this person. Just let them be
Isn't that the truth?
themselves. Yeah. Hmm.
Isn't that the truth? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, Dr. Mike, this has been brilliant. And what a refreshing way to hire somebody rather than going through all the process and heavy lifting and all
Yeah.
this stuff. When if we just ask them the right questions in the first place, we can,
Hmm.
kick everybody else to the curb and narrow down our choices. And then we end up getting a highly probable candidate that we can work with for years to come.